What do Father Brown, Charles Foster Kane, and Donald Trump have in common? Well, since only the first two are fictional characters, an acceptable answer might be not enough. Let me tell you what they have in common. Last week, a friend on social media shared an interview Anthony Audi conducted with Errol Morris, which was published on the website Literary Hub back in October. Morris, for those of you unfamiliar with him, is one of the preeminent documentary filmmakers of his generation. The Thin Blue Line, Gates of Heaven, Fast, Cheap, and Out of Control, The Fog of War, I could go on. LitHub spoke to Morris because in 2002, Morris recorded some of Trump's thoughts on Citizen Kane, which is apparently one of Trump's favorite films. During the LitHub interview, Morris references a review of Citizen Kane written by the great Argentine writer Jorge Luis Borges, where Borges describes the film as, quote, a labyrinth with no center. Borges was quoting a line from G.K. Chesterton, whose detective character Father Brown observes in The Head of Caesar that, quote, what we all dread most is a maze with no center. Borges was writing in Spanish, so when his review was translated into English, Chesterton's maze became labyrinth, inadvertently improving upon the original line, at least in my opinion, and that of Errol Morris. A labyrinth or a maze with no center. Chesterton, through Father Brown, was referring to atheism, unfairly I think, but that's a subject for another time. Borges was referring to Citizen Kane. Morris values it for its versatility, seeing it as applicable to the unstable world of 1941 in which Borges was writing, and to any environment, quote, where there is no truth or falsity, a world of appearances with no substance, unquote. And it's the perfect description of Donald Trump. Or it nearly is. I am a little reluctant to apply such a beautiful turn of phrase, however apt, to such a hideous human being. But the qualities about Trump that make Labyrinth with no center such a suitable description of him are also the qualities that make him so hideous, and make the prospect of his presidency so horrifying. Here is a person who personifies the world of appearances with no substance Morris describes, a person who is all artifice with no substance underneath. Take, as a representative example, Trump's thoughts on Citizen Kane. In Morris's recording, Trump demonstrates a fairly basic, superficial understanding of some of the film's dominant themes. Then, when asked about the enigmatic element of rosebud, he says, quote, the word rosebud has captivated moviegoers and movie watchers for so many years, and to this day is perhaps the single word. And perhaps if they came up with another word that meant the same thing, it wouldn't have worked. But rosebud works. What is that? Other than an exhibition of Trump's admittedly impressive ability to spontaneously compose lorem ipsum, that is. 42 words in that quote, and no significant content. It seems Trump's film criticism is no different than his approach to social and political issues. Facile observations presented as keen insights served over a generous portion of word salad. Here's a more egregious example from a Fox News Channel appearance back in April. The subject is diplomatic relations with countries that possess nuclear weapons, particularly Pakistan. Quote, yes, but the problem with Pakistan, where they have nuclear weapons, and which is a real problem, again, the single biggest problem we have is nuclear weapons, countries with them. And it's not only a country, you have 9 countries right now with nuclear weapons, but it's semi-unstable, and we don't want to see total instability, and it's not that much, relatively speaking. And we have a little bit of a good relationship, and I think I try to keep it. And it's very much against my grain to say that, but a country, and that's always the country, I think, we give them money and we help them out, but if we don't, I think that would go on the other side of the ledger, and that could really be a disaster. At the same time, if you look at India and some of the others, maybe they'll be helping us out because we're going to look at it, but we have many, many countries that we give a lot of money to, and we get absolutely nothing in return. Unquote. And here's one more, also from last April. Behold Trump's opinion on why Abraham Lincoln was successful. Quote, well, I think Lincoln succeeded for numerous reasons. He was a man who was of great intelligence, which most presidents would be, but he was a man of great intelligence, but he was also a man who did something that was a very vital thing to do at that time. 10 years before or 20 years before, what he was doing would never have even been thought possible. So he did something that was a very important thing to do, and especially at that time. Here's what I've come to realize. Trump is not just a labyrinth with no center. He's a self-similar object. He's a labyrinth with no center, made of labyrinths with no centers. An infinite regress of serpentine vacuity, where the deeper we descend, the more shallow he becomes. Hey folks, hope you found this video worthwhile. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe. And also please consider helping me to make more videos like this one by supporting this channel through Patreon. You can go to patreon.com/Steve Shives to become a patron. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.